Hi, my name is Rob Parkins, Rio Ambassador, and on this episode of Rio's How To, we're going to go over fishing a dry fly upstream. We're going to talk about why we fish dry flies, how to fish dry flies, and what a dry fly is. My favorite setup for fishing dries is a Sage 9'5" weight mod rod, and on that I use the Rio InTouch Trout LT. I really like this line because it has a long, delicate taper. It allows for delicate presentations, and I'm going to be able to present the fly without any disruption on the water. On that, I have a Rio PowerFlex 9'5" leader, which I really like for the transfer. And to that, I attach 2 feet of Rio Suppleflex 5X tippet material. And this just allows for a more delicate presentation with small dry flies. And here's a sampling of some of the small dry flies we'd be using to imitate insects on the creek. Now let's get out there and see if we can find a fish using the upstream dry fly technique. Okay, here we are. We found the perfect spot in the river that we should find some fish to catch on a dry fly. If you see, we have a riffle with some structure that's going to hold the fish there, and when we pulled up, we did see a few fish rising. So we know that's a good start. What we're going to be doing is fishing a dry fly, and here I'm using a small PMD imitation. And what dry flies do is they're imitating an aquatic insect or a terrestrial, such as an ant or a beetle. And the reason why we fish them is because it's a much more visual way of fishing. You're not blind casting, hoping that your fly is going in front of a fish. We're walking upstream, we're targeting individual fish, we're seeing them, and we have to make the correct cast, the correct presentation to get that fish to eat. And we're able to watch the whole thing, the fly floating down the feeding lane, the fish coming up for a slow take, and then we set the hook. And that's what makes it exciting. It's just, if you haven't done it, it's something that you should do in the future, because it's the most exciting way to fish. So let's get to it and see if we can find a fish using an upstream presentation for dry fly fishing. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way upstream, and there's several reasons for doing that. One is we're walking up the stream, we're creating a wake, and with the downstream current, it's pushing the wake away from the fish. The other thing is we cast 45-degree angle to the current, is that we're keeping the fly line away from the fish. They're not going to see that. You're presenting the fly upstream to them, and it's getting a nice drag-free drift with minimal drag as it comes to where the fish is. So as we work our way upstream, what we want to do is have a quartering up cast. And what that's going to allow us to do is, there is a small fish that just ate the fly. There's another small fish that just ate the fly. So what happens when we're doing this is when you quarter away with your cast, it's going to allow the fly to get a natural drift without the fish seeing the fly line or the leader first. And we also are able to extend our drift by getting it up that way and throwing a little mend in it. And as we go, we just want to strip in a little line so we can remain tight to the fly when a fish does eat it. We're getting to the spot. If you look, there's a fish. What we're looking for is a little drop off here. And what those fish are going to do is just nose right along the edge of that, waiting for food to come to them, but they still have shelter. There we go. Small little cutthroat. All right, we really need to find a bigger fish now. We found this nice little riffle here, and it drops off right at the edge. It goes from about a foot deep to about 2 feet deep. We're casting upstream. We're gonna have minimal drag, not have to mend too much. Just make sure that we strip in our line so we have a nice connection to the fly in case the fish does eat. All right, there he is, right on that edge of the fast water and slow water. He's feeding pretty sporadically, but we should get him to come up and eat. All we need to do is cast upstream, put the fly about 2-3 feet above him, and let it drift right into him in his feeding lane. Here we go. Nice fish. He ate just like he was supposed to. in the same spot, came up and ate that fly in the Upstream presentation. There you go. I'm gonna have my fishing partner and Gilly come and net the fish for me. Make it easy, he's a nice fish.
Hello, Rob. Got one?
Well done, nice job.
Oh, look at
Thank
that.
you,
What a beautiful brownie.
Beautiful fish. Let's pull the hook out of him and get him back in the water. There we go. Nice fish.
Look at that. Awesome.
And that's how you fish the Upstream dry fly. It's that easy. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this episode of Rio's How To, please go to rioproducts.com and visit all the series.